Yes, you got it. You got it. Well, hi, everybody. Good evening. Welcome to our Tiny Talks, our builder night, which will be with some builders that are in Montana, Woodland Ridge Tiny Homes, and Robin and maybe Rich is going to jump in and ask some questions. But they're going to show us a house, couple houses they have in progress, as well as their brand new facility. And so I'm excited to see that. And with that, oh, I do have to tell you, this is being recorded so that we can share it with our members and on our YouTube channel. So if you don't want to be recorded, then you can just hop off. And also, if you have any questions for Rick and Cody, then you can pop them in the chat. I'll try to keep an eye on the chat, or you can raise your hand and ask the question yourself. And if you don't know how to do that, it's down at the bottom in one of those reactions. Yes, in the reactions. So with that, I'm turning it over to Robin Butler, our CEO, and Rich, our president. And thanks to Tony and Bonnie, who's also with Noah, for joining us tonight. And I'm Leanne Fleischer, in case there are some familiar names on here, but there's some that I'm not familiar with. So welcome, everybody. Thanks for joining us. Robin?
We're happy to be here. Thank you, Leanne. Thank you, Leanne. Appreciate that. And yeah, we're all excited about the Tiny Talks and the tiny house business here over at Noah. There's a lot of things going on. One of these days we'll talk about it, but if you're interested, Leanne writes a lot of blogs and for you guys if you keep an eye on those types of things. So anyway, we are doing this once a month, and if you are interested in learning a little bit more, we do a lot of. Sometimes we'll have the inspectors on, and Leanne will probably come on at the end to kind of show what we're doing next month and how we're going to do this. But with that, I'm going to turn it over to Rick and Cody and have them introduce themselves. Tell us a little bit about what your business is, how long you've been in business, and that kind of thing. Guys, I think we were talking earlier about how many tiny houses you've had Noah certified so far. So let the folks know who you are and what you do.
Okay, absolutely. Thanks, Robin. We really appreciate the introduction. Appreciate having us as a part of the Tiny Talks. We really love being a part of Noah and a part of the team here to build the tiny homes. Rick and I started Woodland Ridge about 4 years ago now. We're coming up on almost our 4-year anniversary. And we spent the first couple of years, most of the time it was just Rick and I working. We had a shop that was a barn of mine that we converted into a shop. We initially built our first home just nights and weekends to see if there was a market here in this area. And it turns out that there absolutely is. And we have not looked back. Ever since then, we've just continued to grow and continue to add more homes, more clients. And then about 6 months ago, we moved into the facility that we're in here now. We've gone from being able to build one home at a time to being able to build 4 at a time. We don't quite have the staffing yet to be able to do 4, but we've got 4 bays, and we can walk through later on during the tour and show you the facility. But we've got 4 bays, and so we could theoretically have 4 going at once. We're expanding our team. At this point, we've got 6 employees. We hope to, ideally, we'll get up to 12 to 15 employees. And at that point, we feel like we can probably pump out about 40 to 50 homes a year. Our goal this year is to get close to 20 for 2024. So far, we've certified a little over 20 homes through Noah to date, and looking forward to doing more. I'll let Rick introduce himself.
Rick Gilliland. Again, thanks for having us on today. Appreciate it, and the opportunity to share and share with people of like mind. It's really been fun to see this business take off. When we first started, Cody and I were thinking we'd build 3 or 4 homes a year and just see how things would go. we built our first home as a spec home, and it sold before we had it completed. And it hasn't stopped since then. It's just kept rolling. So what we thought was going to be a part-time endeavor has turned into a full-time business for us. So it's been great.
Well, thank you guys. My computer keeps telling me my bandwidth is low. So, you know, I really want to commend you guys on we see a lot of builders out there, and some of them come up and they get going and they struggle, you know, they I don't know for why they struggle, but they can't sell their unit. They don't have the resources and the financial backing to keep going. Um, and so a lot of you builders on there probably, and Cody and Rick, and the fact that they haven't had, as you put it, haven't had to look back after they got started, um, after their first spec home. So can you kind of develop a little bit about your story on what you're doing, how you're advertising, how you're pricing, if you don't mind pricing. You don't have to give us exact numbers, but just to let us know approximately what your markup is, so other builders on the call can kind of see, you know, get some pointers and ideas in their neck of the woods, how they could, you know, do the same thing that you're doing, which is, and maybe it's just because of the demand in your area, but there's a demand everywhere. So go into that just a little bit, guys. Tell us a little bit about, you know, your story on how you went from one spec home to all the homes that you're building now.
Well, we started off, we had a goal of not going
Did you
into
guys
debt.
hear me?
Yes, can you hear us?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Can you hear us now?
We can hear you pretty good.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, it's
So
just
we
a
had a goal.
delay. That's all.
Okay. We had a goal of starting this business without going into debt to do it. We each put a little bit of capital into it, and we grew our business slowly on purpose. We wanted to make sure that we had our processes down, that we had our pricing right. And so, you know, initially Cody and I worked some pretty long hours, a lot of weeks where we were working 7 days a week to get it started and going. And a lot of our advertising, well, actually, we've not done any advertising per se. We have a website, but most of it's been by way of social media and word of mouth. And Cody's our sales and marketing guy, and so he's done all of the social media presentations that we've done, and he handles the sales, and then we collaborate on pricing. So I'll let him go into that a little bit more.
Yeah. So I would say from the sales and marketing side of things, as Rick said, at this point, we have yet to spend a dime on sales, on, you know, paid ads, anything like that. But what we have done is we've done a lot on social media between Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. And then also I'm kind of a bulldog whenever it comes to sales and marketing. I get into anybody and everybody, every opportunity I can. I'm speaking in front of people, telling people what we're doing. Just last week, I spoke at the local Rotary Club, did an hour-long presentation about our tiny homes. I do lots of cold calls. So I went through from our state, every realtor that's licensed within the state of Montana has to be, they're part of a database. I got that database, and then literally I just sit there and call realtors and set up meetings with them, tell them what we're doing, really try and get FaceTime with people. I try to get people out here in the shop, because one of the things we found is that once somebody steps into our home, then they understand it. Up until then, they're thinking manufactured home, they're thinking RV, they're thinking something along those lines. And then once people stand inside of one of our homes, then they are able to really understand what we do, how we do it. And it really makes a difference for those folks. I would actually, whenever we first started building these tiny homes 4 years ago, they were illegal in the city that we live in. you couldn't put one here. And we have worked very diligently with the local municipality to get them approved, to get them encouraged within our community. And we had a meeting very early on with the city planner, and you could tell that he did not want to be a part of the meeting. You could tell that he was not interested in being there. But by the end of a 2-hour meeting with this gentleman, he told us that they wanted to see as many tiny homes in the city of Livingston as they possibly could, and said, what do we need to do to make changes in our zoning? What do we need to do to make changes at the city level in order for us to get as many homes as possible here? So we've actually been very successful with that, to the point that they just changed all of our zoning ordinances. Anything that's zoned R1, R2, R3, or mixed use zoning can have a tiny home. And whenever we started this, you could not do anything. And now we've opened the doors huge in our community for that. And that's all been by just pounding the pavement, being at meetings, having people come out, and really putting in the effort. That's, I think one of the things that a lot of builders, and myself included, we get so focused on the actual building, the building the walls and doing the building itself. We forget about that other piece and really getting out there in front of people. And that's one of the things that we've worked really hard to do, is tell people what we're doing, tell our story, talk about how we're locals and we wanted to make a difference in the housing market here, and what the vision is for our business. And really telling the story is really what's been able to sell the homes. As far as pricing goes, we feel like that's a pretty constantly evolving thing. We initially, up until probably the last 6 months, our price ranges have been about 90 to 145, with an average right around 120 to 125. And here in the last 6 months, we've actually seen people go much, much bigger. And therefore, our pricing structure has stayed pretty consistent, but the size of the homes has gotten quite a bit larger. So we're seeing them creep up. We've actually sold a couple homes here lately that have been over the $200,000 mark, because of how big and how nice the finishes some of these homes are going to be. So as far as being able to price, that's a constantly evolving thing for us. So it's really kind of hard to give you a hard and fast answer to that, because we don't do models. So I know that there's a lot of builders out there that will do 3 or 4 models with only a certain amount of variability for each model. We kind of take the opposite approach, and every single home that we do is different. Every single one is custom. Obviously, as we all know, as builders, there's certain things that we have to work within, but every home that we've done to this point has been vastly different than the one before. And that's been something that has been really a selling point for us, because people come in and say, I like this one builder, but I didn't really like the layout, and there wasn't a whole lot of flexibility in being able to change things. And then they come to us and we're like, nope, we can change anything and everything you want, and we can work with you on getting you your dream home. So yeah, absolutely. I wish I could give you a better answer for pricing, but it's in flux. I mean, every house we price differently, just based off of what somebody wants. We've got a spreadsheet that we've developed that we can somehow, we use that spreadsheet to get a rough estimate of what we think the house might be. But again, it's kind of a moving target a little bit.
One other thing that we've done, Robin, in order to get our name out there in the community,
Alexis
and allow
has her hand up.
Oh
The
yeah,
other
but
thing-
you can finish your thought first, and then I'll jump in if you want.
Yeah.
Or I can ask now.
We just had a furnace kick on in the shop. Rick's going to turn it off so that we can hear better. So, but I couldn't hear you guys. Kind of broke up there, but yeah, one of the biggest thing, I think one of the things Rick was going to say is really just being in the community. And we've done a couple open houses. We've done we call them the Yellowstone Tiny Home Expo. that we've done, and we had several hundred people that turned out for that. We're planning one for the spring now in April, and then we're actually going to showcase 3 of our homes in the parking lot of Kenyon Noble, which is our local material distributor. And that's all going to happen in April. We're going to have some food vendors there. We're going to make a kind of a big extravaganza out of it to really promote what we're trying to accomplish. And then you can keep going. So.
Oh, and that's exactly what I was going to say. We started out. We put our first home in the parking lot at our local building supplier, and opened it up for the public to come out and see. And we had a lot of interest in it. And we took it down later in the summer to local farmers market, and we didn't even get a chance to eat dinner. There was so many people that wanted to look at it, but just getting them out there, letting people come in, like Cody said earlier, being able to step into the space and actually get a feel for it. And you hear constantly, "Oh, this isn't what I thought it was. This is much better." But getting it out there, letting people see it, and getting our name out there, I think has helped tremendously.
Alexis,
Yeah,
did you have a
Yeah.
question for the team?
I do, yeah. I was curious to know if you have a most popular length that you do, and if most of your homes are 8.5 feet wide.
So up until about 6 months ago, our most popular size was a 32 by 8.5. And what we found with the 32 by 8.5, there's a lot of flexibility in that much length. We've done just a loft bedroom with a large living space. We've also done a smaller living space with a main level bedroom and a loft. That's been, like I said, up until about 6 months ago, that was probably our most popular size. But here, man, the last 6 months, most all of our orders have been 10 wides. 10 seems to be much more popular. The one that we're standing in right now is a 38. We just took an order on a 40 by 10. I'm working on now 2 more that'll probably be in that 40 range. So the size is definitely growing, and it's not really because we're pushing it. It seems like that's what people are wanting. So in probably another 6 months, I'd tell you that our most popular size will probably be a 38 by 10, is my guess. But historically, it's been a 32 by 8.5.
Okay, thanks. And if I could ask just one more question, and then I'll let somebody else ask. Have you found a sweet spot in terms of pricing where people don't really want to go beyond a certain point, or they might consider a traditional build versus kind of staying within the perception of the lower cost tiny house? If I'm being clear, I don't know. I can restate that if necessary.
No, I think, and you have to take into account the local real estate market. Our real estate market here is extremely high priced. I mean, we're in Livingston, Montana, which is about population of 7,500 or so. And the average, the mean price of a home here in Livingston is now in excess of $500,000. So that obviously impacts what people are willing to pay here. And I'll let Cody speak to the what is our sweet spot, so to speak.
Yeah, I would say for us, and again, keep in mind that this is our market. You go down in other places. I've got family in Minnesota. I've got some family in Florida, and the real estate markets in those areas are so much different than they are here. For us, I would say the 120 to 140 range is a sweet spot for us. People don't tend to balk a whole lot at that pricing. But again, like I said, like last 6 months, we've had 4 or 5 homes that have been in the like one. I think the one was like 152, and then we've had a couple that have been well over 200. So we haven't yet found a hard ceiling to that. One of the ladies that we just signed a contract on Friday, she was well over 200. And frankly, I think if we'd have told her it was 3, she probably would have paid it. But again, that's because we're our market. as Rick said, Livingston, the median single family home is going for about 500,000. You go just 30 miles to the west of us, and that's where Bozeman is. And right now, they just crossed over $1 million for the median single family home. So we are a little bit of a bubble here. Yeah, and then I think Robin, you asked a question about financing. We have a combination of both. We have folks that are financing, but then we also have folks that are paying cash. So it's a good combination of both.
Great. Thank you, guys. Megan has her hand up. Oh,
Yeah, I had a question about, you mentioned you got the city to allow tiny homes. I was just wondering, do you have to build those on foundations, or are there other restrictions that you're having to meet to make that work, or are they allowing you to have, tiny homes on wheels in that situation?
Yeah, they're allowing us to have them on wheels. They just require some sort of a what they deem as a permanent foundation, and that the definition of permanent is a little bit fluid depending on what inspector you talk to. But here in Livingston, the building inspector has approved basically just dropping sonotubes into the ground, filling them up with concrete, and then affixing the trailers with turnbuckles. And they're considering that permanently affixed to a foundation. So we've been very fortunate that they have allowed that. There's other municipalities that are a little bit more strict on their interpretation of permanent foundation. And we do have a product. We haven't built one yet, but we've worked with a structural engineer to create a product that would come off of the trailer and go directly onto a crawl space or a stem walls. So we anticipate that we'll have that up and rolling by the summer. To that point, we've got a client that I was talking with today that she wants to actually stack two and use them as two separate rentals, and it would be the same concept. We'd build them here in the shop on a trailer, but then once we get on site, we would have a crane that would lift one off and set it down onto permanent foundation, and then we would have another one that we would also crane in and drop on top of that other one, so that it would become two stacked units. And that's we're working with a structural engineer to get all of that system developed at this point. But our hope is late summer, early fall, we'll actually have that going.
wow. That sounds intriguing.
Yeah, we're excited about that one.
Can't wait to see that one. Sarah, I'm sorry if I'm not saying that correctly. You can ask your question.
Yeah, so for the stack unit, are you guys still going with a stick frame, or is it like a steel frame or something like that?
Yeah, we use stick framing, and we switched over about a year ago. We've actually switched away from dimensional lumber, and we now use engineered studs and rafters. So we use the LSL product for all of our studs and rafters. We've looked at the steel framing, but we've actually our system has gotten so fast and efficient with stick framing that's probably what we're gonna stick with.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys. Okay, do you skirt the home?
We don't typically. Typically, that's the homeowner's responsibility once it's on site. We are working on a product and a system to do some easy skirting for folks, but we haven't actually done that yet.
Okay, and then Robin, are you getting permits for the installation?
In like here in Livingston, the permitting process, well, in Montana in general, the permitting process is much easier than it is in other states. So the requirements are pretty minimal for what the permitting looks like for us.
Cool. And Star wants to know, why did you go to the LSL framing?
You want to talk about that?
Sure. the thing that really drove us to it is how horrible dimensional lumber is in this day and age. Finding a straight stud is almost impossible. We decided to try it and just see if we could gain any efficiencies with it. And we found that by using the LSLs, we could move a lot faster and our finishes are much better rather than using dimensional lumber. We don't have to fight, we don't have to crown studs. We don't have to fight twisted studs. When we do the framing, it goes together so much quicker and they're so much stronger. According to the manufacturers, they're 400 times stronger than a standard stud. So that's really the reason that we chose to go that route. It does cost us a little bit more, but we think that we recoup that in labor by using the LSLs.
And to Rick's point, with the speed at which we can frame, it was myself, Rick, and then one of our other team members named Jeremy. It was just the three of us, and we had two homes that were very, very similar to one another. They were 32 by 8.5. And the three of us in an 8-hour workday framed both of those houses in one day. That's how quickly we're able to move with that product.
One other aspect of the LSLs as well is that they're a very sustainable product. The wood is all grown on tree farms. It's fast growing trees that you can't utilize for standard lumber. And then they constantly replenish those trees. So they're not coming out of our national forests. It's coming off of tree farms where they grow them specifically for this purpose.
Oh, is there any toxicity issue with LSL?
We've not had any issues with them. Now, if you had somebody who had a lot of issues with chemicals and so forth, there might be something in there. We have not had that come up. So, so far, so good for us.
It would be a product because we have a client that we're starting to work with a little bit that has some chemical sensitivities. And that's a product that is not going to work for her because there are some glues and things that they use in LSLs that could be would be irritating for this particular client. So for her, we won't be using the LSLs.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. One more question, then we're going to let the guys get touring or we're not going to get through this. Juan, what is your question? Juan, you might want to unmute.
Yeah,
There.
can you hear me? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you, guys. Based on your experience, does it make sense to look for a distribution channel, or you think end user is the way?
At this point, we've actually talked about distribution channels. We're certainly open to that conversation, especially as we scale the business. We're certainly open to that. At this point, we haven't really had that need, but we have had that discussion. So if you're somebody that is looking for distribution or has a distribution channel, we'd be happy to talk with you about it. But it's something that we haven't done as of yet.
Thank you.
All right. Well, guys, spray foam or standard installation?
Spray foam. We do and we do closed cell. So we do closed cell spray foam, and we do about 4 inches in the floor, 3.5 in the walls, and then 5.5 in the ceiling.
And being here in Montana, we have to get as high R factor as we possibly can, and that's the way to do it.
All right. Okay, guys, you want to show us around your beauty?
Yeah, absolutely. And actually, before we show you around, I want to show you guys something. So last time we were on the Tiny Talks, we told you that was coming, but we finally have llama.
I
Tiny
love
home,
it.
so-
That is so cute. Yay. Oh, awesome.
So
You guys
the
rock.
background to this, for those of you that may not know, the background to these shirts is that whenever we were at my shop at my house, Rick and I have llamas. We do a lot of backcountry packing in the mountains every year, and so we have llamas that pack for us. And these llamas have ended up becoming a bit of celebrities within our little tiny home business here. So we had some people asking for shirts. We came up with a design and made shirts. If anybody's interested in a Woodland Ridge llama tiny home shirt, send me an email at info@tinyhomecrafters.com. They're $30 and we can get them sent out to you. So if anybody's interested, let me know. And I'm going to switch you over to my little selfie stick and then we can walk around.
Those turned out great.
Lon, did you have any more questions? If not, you could lower your hand, please.
Your mic's muted, buddy.
Right.
Well, actually, it's not. It's
Did
my
we lose him?
internet connection.
All
No,
right,
I'm
sorry
here.
about
It's
that.
just my internet connection.
Goodness, I am so sorry.
Oh, there you are.
I am sorry, guys.
It's okay.
So I'm just going to walk around with my hand. All right, so this is the bedroom of this house that we're in. This is a 38 by 10. And so here, can I flip that around? Yeah. There we go. So this is the bedroom here. It's got this real nice little chandelier that's going to be over the bed. And then this window is a giant. It's a 7050. And it is incredibly heavy. We ended up having to use a front end loader to lift it up and get it into place. And then this wall, this is an acoustic panel wall. And then her bed is going to sit right here. And then she's going to have these two reading lights over the bed. And then right there, there's going to be a closet or a set of cabinets that'll work as a closet right there. And then in her bedroom, she's got this patio sliding door in the bedroom. And then this is the main area. TV will sit right up there above that ladder. Oh, and check out this light fixture. Looks like a sombrero. Right here is about where her couch is going to go. We're going to have there's going to be a wood stove that's going to sit right here. And then there'll be a dining area that'll go there. And then refrigerator and another cabinet on that side. And then on this side will be kitchen. So there'll be cabinets all along here with a sink there. There's going to be a dishwasher and a cooktop as well. No oven in this one. It's going to have soapstone cabinets, or excuse me, countertops. This big opening here, this is going to be a tri-fold patio door. So it's gonna accordion back this direction with a tri-fold, and then it's got a transom window above it too.
Mini sombreros.
So and then we've got mini sombreros there.
Yeah, I was noticing those.
Yeah, this one does have a mini split in it. And then this is the bathroom. So the toilet's going to sit here. And then it's going to have a tub that's going to sit right underneath this other big window. So she wants to be able to soak in her tub and look out the window. And then this is where the vanity is going to be. You can see there's a washer dryer outlet there. So they'll have a washer dryer and then sink, cabinet, and then a big countertop that'll go across. And then another high window.
Mhm.
So, and that's where our water heater is going to go there, and that we're going to have a cabinet up there where the water heater will go into.
Hmm.
And then it's all oak flooring. This is real hardwood, white oak for the floor, and then shiplap for the walls, and then shiplap look on the ceiling as well.
That is gorgeous. Where is this? Where is this being placed?
It's going to be placed in on a lot over in the Bozeman area.
Oh, okay.
So,
Just wondering
then,
where she's gonna sit in her tub and look out.
yeah. Well, I think the plan is to get a lot up in the mountains somewhere.
Mm,
And you can
that's
see
beautiful.
we use the zip panel sheathing system. This is a full cedar accent wall. So these cedar accents have become very popular. A lot of people really like these. And then this is gonna get metal siding. So you can see the siding here. It's gonna be a blue with a pretty beefy rib on it.
Mm.
And then that gray is the roof. So, and then you can see this is one of our bays. We actually just had a house that was in this bay here, and that one just rolled out of here about a week and a half ago. That one, actually, this house. Do you remember that red one that I sent you pictures of?
Mm-hmm.
That's this house that was in here. And
Oh,
later
okay.
this week, there's going to be another trailer that's going to come in here, and we're going to get started on that one probably first of next week. Oh, well, actually, Monday it's going to get insulated.
Oh,
So you can see,
do
our
you
shelf
guys
there.
have, sorry, do you
No,
have
go
any
ahead.
idea approximately how much the house you were just in, how much it's gonna weigh?
Yeah, probably around 16 to 18,000. It's probably about where that one's going to be. Rick, will you go turn that light on? The trailer is rated. It's got quads on it, so the trailer is rated up to 28,000. So and you can see it's also done on the deck over. So most of the time, we've only done a couple deck overs at this point. Most of the time, we do more of a standard trailer, but this one is a deck over.
Nice.
And then, one of the things for the builders out there, one of the things I'd recommend is doing something like what we did with our workbenches. We put everything on wheels. So that way we can move stuff around. We can put a couple benches together so that we can have more workspace. That one we've got a battery powered Milwaukee miter saw that we actually recessed into the table so that we can use that as for rest. Yeah, and then we got all this cabinetry with glass in it, which is nice to be able to see what's there. That's
Check
our
out
paint
that new
room.
facility. Ooh,
Yeah,
nice.
we're pretty happy with it. We've got this is a electric or a plug-in miter saw, and then this is our sanding room back there. So we've got a ventilation system, so we can sand in there. Yep, dust collection on all of our saws. So then you can see the dust collection there on our table saw. And then this house, this is a 22 by 8.5, this is the smallest one we've done in a long time. The exterior is just about done on it. Let me show you the cedar on this one, because it turned out super cool.
Oh, neat.
So we've got a little mountain scene out of the cedar.
I like that.
And then our eventual plan is to actually put a door there, and then we're going to build onto this building, and that's going to be where all this material that we have staged here is going to go back there so that we can build in this fourth bay.
Mm,
So, and this house is not terribly far along here. And again, this one's pretty small for what we normally do. I'm kind of standing in the living area, and then this will be the kitchen here. So there'll be some cabinets with a cooktop there. Fridge is going to go there. There's going to be the sink and a little bit of cabinets and countertop there. This is the bathroom. So washer dryer combo right there. We're going to do a corner shower, vanity, and then our water heater is going to go here with some cabinetry, and then the toilet will sit right there. And then it does have a storage loft up there, and then a big sleeping loft here.
nice.
Oh, we should show them the office. We got breaker. Oh, and there's our all of our tools. We got everything set up. We like red tools. We're Milwaukee fans. We got all of our batteries into charge. And then up there we've got a break room. Oh, and for the builders, one of the things that we picked up back over the summer, and every builder should have a track saw if you don't have one already, which those are the tracks for it. And that's the saw. That's worth every penny we paid for it. And then we have, I think one of the things that's been great about this facility is this office that we built. So this is our conference room office that we have. And this is, and then we've also got a TV in it. And so we hook our computers up to the TV there, and then we could walk through with clients, walk through their homes, look at other things that we've done. It's been really good. Oh, and then we've got our branding up there.
Nice.
Yeah, so that's a little tour of the shop.
Yeah, looks like you guys have made great use of that. It's just really well organized, looks great.
Yeah, thank you.
Dave wants to know, are you leasing your shop or do you own the property?
We're leasing. We're leasing this space. We got a 2-year lease on it, but we're already talking about extending that. So,
You know, we originally had planned to build a shop because there's just not a whole lot available here at Livingston. And then this facility came open and we decided to lease rather than build. And I'm so glad that we did, because we don't have that capital tied up into a building, and it has allowed us to expand. That's been key, I think, for our growth.
absolutely.
There you go. Cool. I think it was 4 years, but how long have you been in business?
Yeah, this spring will be 4 years. So we're right at 4.
I think you guys might have been one of my first welcome member calls, because that's around when I started with Noah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so are the mascots outside? Wink,
No,
wink.
because we don't build at my house anymore.
Oh,
I know.
okay.
I'm
I'm sorry. I made a
know.
promise on social media we'd see that.
I'm sorry.
We'll
I'm
just-
sorry to
We'll
disappoint.
look at you the t-shirt again.
Yeah, Rick
No
can
big
pull
deal.
up a picture real quick.
It's okay. They were so cute when you did the grand finale, and they all just kind of turned around and looked at the camera at the same time.
Yeah.
Oh, we got Journey Life Simply wants to know, are you green certified?
We are not. That's something that we'd certainly be open to. We just haven't gone down that path quite yet. We did, however, we won the EcoStar Pollution Prevention Award for the state of Montana, though, for 2022. 2022. Yeah, 2022.
Cool. Well, congratulations.
Yeah, thank you.
This is great. So yep, Star said congratulations. Does anybody have Robin, Rich, anybody, Tony, anybody got any more questions? Oh,
Well, I don't know if you can hear me. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah.
Yep.
yes.
Okay. Yeah, sorry, my internet's a little out here. I saw a question. I don't know whether you got to it or not, but they said they wanted to know the weight of the 8.5 by 22, approximate weight on that. Do you have an idea what that one's going to weigh?
Our guess is that'll weigh somewhere between probably 10 and 12,000 pounds.
Yeah, that sounds about right, because I know our 20 footers are somewhere between 9 and 10 that we have built here. So you're hitting it right on. And when you say 8.5, you're a true 8.5, right? You're not 8 with some protrusions. Your outside to outside dimensions are 8.5.
The outside to outside dimensions of the trailer is 8.5. The outside dimensions of our framing ends up being 8.
Okay. All right. All right, good. Well, that's kind of what everybody's doing, because what happens is you can't go past 8.5. And if you have an outside light or anything trim or a little bit of a overhang, you don't you end up pretty good. And then the other question I had, and I see some more messages popping in here. Leanne, maybe you can take care of those. But do most of your people finance the home? Do they have cash? What are you seeing here when you're selling your houses? How are people paying for them?
Yeah, we have a good mixture of both. We have a handful of clients that will pay, cash for them, and then it's probably at this point maybe half and half.
Yeah,
It's probably half and half between cash and financing buyers.
Cool. All right, we got a couple questions and then we could probably wrap it up. Dave wants to know, what brand of windows are you guys using? Vinyl, double panes, triple panes?
We've used a variety of manufacturers. Up until a year ago or so, it was so hard to get windows. We actually went with a local manufacturer here, Chinook Windows, and we utilized those. Most of the ones we use are double pane. Most recently, we've used Marvin windows and have really liked those, and we're thinking about making them our main supplier for windows.
Great, thank you. Let's see, is the reason that no oven is utilized is due to amperage?
No, we actually don't. Very rarely do we have any sort of an amperage issue because we run anywhere from 125 to 200 amp panels, and most people are just hooking right into shore power. We have had a couple people that have used like a 50 amp RV hookup, and so then you could run into some issues if you're only doing 50 amp. But 95% of our folks, they're getting 125 to 200 amps. Most people just don't want to lose the space of an oven, and what most people do is some sort of a countertop convection oven is what we've seen. I mean, we haven't put in a single full size oven. Yeah, we haven't done a single one that's been a full size oven. Just cooktops and countertop convection ovens.
How much does the trailer weigh of that 10 to 12,000 pounds?
That's about 3.
Yeah, those are probably close to 4.
Yeah, I think the 22, it's probably 3,000 pounds, 2,500 to 3,000 pounds would be the guess. We've got all those schematics in a file on the computer somewhere that I can tell you exactly, but that's my guess.
That's good enough. So a couple of questions on financing. You guys have financing options on your website?
No, we don't. We actually though work with a couple local banks because again, just like we did things with the city, we know that we're trying to be as vertically integrated as we can with the business. So we try and have all the answers to all the questions before they get asked. So we know that where are you going to put it? Financing, those are kind of sort of the two biggest options, or the two biggest obstacles. So we've worked very closely with a couple local banks to get financing. So I've got a couple lenders' cell phone numbers, and I just give them those people, and we're working on building a product within the bank specifically for us, and we're real close to that.
That's awesome. So are they using the tiny home as collateral, or is it a personal?
It really it depends. It depends on the way it's structured. Some people they do use it as collateral. Some it's an unsecured personal loan. It really just depends on people's what their income is. It depends on where their credit scores fall. But yeah, we've done it several different ways.
We've also had several who have done them as a business loan. They're using it for vacation rentals or midterm rentals, and they've been able to secure them with business loans.
That's good. I'm sorry. Do you build your own trailers?
No, we don't. We buy our trailers from Trailer Made out of Olathe, Colorado.
We know them well.
Yeah.
Okay, Dave says you could use propane cooktops or ranges. Is propane popular in that area?
We've used propane. We've done propane for water heaters as well. So we've done propane water heaters, propane cooktops. Yeah, that's absolutely stuff that we've done.
Gotcha. All right, I think this is my first Zoom ever for anything. It's fun.
Next caller.
I'm having fun too. Alexis has a question, and then we can probably wrap it up here shortly. Alexis?
Okay. Yeah, thanks for taking that. My last question. So you said you use propane hot water heater. Do you have any issues with the lines freezing in Colorado? Because well, the builder I work for, we haven't had any issues with that, but I've been hearing a lot of feedback in my community about that. When I go to give talks, people have expressed that concern that they're having issues with their propane lines freezing, and we're not even in a very cold area. So I'm curious to know if you have any issues with that and how you deal with it.
So you're saying the line that the propane comes into the house is freezing? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, and causing the hot water heater to malfunction and need to like replace it.
Could that be a clean out issue? Get moisture in the lines?
It could be, but I know that if it gets really cold, propane can cause an issue. We've not had it.
Yeah, we haven't had that. There may be an issue with water getting in the line somehow and causing the freezing, but I mean we've done. Shoot, I don't even know how many exactly propane water heaters we've done, and we have not had that issue at all. And it gets cold here.
Okay, yeah, so maybe they're getting water in their line somehow. I don't know. I actually don't know much about that side of it, but I just gave a talk the other day, and somebody said they'd gone through a few, and then we visited a site, and this other woman was having issues with it. So it seems like it's kind of a common problem, but I don't know why they're having those issues. But all right,
yeah.
thanks.
Dave said you can get a propane tank blanket, warmer blanket thing.
Well, and see, and we keep all like we use tankless. We use the tankless water heaters, and we keep everything inside of heated space. So that may be a part of it as well.
Oh yeah. Oh, so you keep yours inside. Yeah, I think these are externally mounted. So.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, there's your problem. And see, we keep as much inside a heated space as we possibly can because our winters here in Montana are just absolutely brutal some years.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks.
Okay, one last question. Do you plan to distribute or can become a distributor?
You know, we certainly would have that conversation. If there was a distributor that wanted to carry some homes, we would certainly have that conversation. It's nothing at this point that we've sought out just because we haven't had to. We've stayed. We're busier than we want to be. And I'm just kidding about that. We want more business. But yeah, we've been super busy without having a distributor. So, but we're definitely open to that discussion.
Cool. All right. Oh, all right. I'm talking about the tank heater on the outside. You don't store the propane tanks indoors of the house, do you?
No. The propane itself, we keep outside the house. Yes.
In our old shop, we had propane heat in, and we had a tank, above ground tank that sat outside in minus 30-degree temperatures, and we never had an issue.
No.
All right.
Great.
Robin?
Before you close us out here, Leanne, I did want to mention to everyone who's on the call that there is going to be another innovative housing showcase this year in Washington, D.C. And we're looking for homes. Anybody that wants to showcase their homes on the mall, downtown Washington, D.C., we have a show set up that's supposed to happen in Fredericksburg, Virginia, which is about an hour away, the weekend before the show. And then the show goes, I believe, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, or maybe it's Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. So you could kill two birds with one stone. Get out there and showcase your homes. There's a lot of people that actually in Washington, D.C. that would come through. So we're looking to create a little village there on the mall, really showcasing the tiny homes. So if you're, we'll be sending out more emails regarding that. It's the first week in weekend, or first weekend, and then the week after that in June, I believe. But let me solid that up a little bit. And if anybody's interested, know you might be interested, give Leanne an email and she'll pass it on to me and we'll stay in contact with you. Thank you, Leanne. Thank you, Rick and Cody. And Leanne, why don't you wrap us up?
Okay, well, I was going to share my email because not everyone on this has my email, but you can send it to leanne@noahcertified.org. That's leanne@noahcertified.org, or you can call our 800 number, which is listed on our website, which is noahcertified.org. Also, our next Tiny Talks is March 19th. And unfortunately, I had a DIY, one of our DIY builders all set up, and I just heard from them today that they are not going to be able to make that date. But I promise we will have a Tiny Talks, and I promise it'll be informative, exciting, fun, and you'll learn a lot like you did tonight. So with that, if nobody has any other questions, I just want to say thank you so much to Cody and Rick for taking time out of your busy schedule to be with us. We really appreciate it. And we're just happy for you guys doing so well. We're always happy when our members are doing well, because when you guys do well, that makes us happy. So with that, if there's nothing else, I'm going to let you guys go and have a great night, everyone. Thanks for joining us. Hope you enjoy
everyone. Hello.
Thanks, guys.
Tony, you're at the beach too?
Yeah, right.
All right. Thanks for joining us. You have a good night.
All right. See you guys.
Bye.